Greetings. Today, we want to discuss a very important topic concerning Neville Goddard and concerning his birthplace and also his burial place. And I am inviting you to ask your question. I want to make this one very interactive. I want to make it a question and answer segment. So if you have just tuned in, I just want to inform you that you must have your question, and whatever question that you ask, I'll be able to provide an answer for you. Okay? So let me repeat myself by stating that this will be more of a question and answer segment, because these are questions that many people have never really asked themselves, especially melanated people who would have found the work of Neville Goddard and they would have just embraced everything that was said to them, and they have never really questioned certain things. You see, when you grow up in the Caribbean and you know anything about Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts, Nevis, Antigua, Jamaica. Once you know anything about these islands, whenever you get the narrative of a white man, a Caucasian man being born in any one of these islands, even in Africa, you have to put two and two together and learn to make sense out of it, to go straight to the root of things, go straight to the origin of things to really understand where I am coming from. That's why I am saying I wanted to ask the questions, okay? And I give you the topic, showing you that it's gonna be around Neville Goddard's birthplace and his burial place. Why was this particular place on this planet, and why he wasn't buried in America, seeing that so many Americans embrace Neville Goddard's teaching? Why he wasn't buried also in England? Because originally he's an Englishman and come from an English family. These are things that people have to ask themselves before they just jump on a bandwagon and just think about just manifestation. And I want to manifest this and I want to manifest that. The first thing you have to seek on this planet is your freedom. That's the very first thing. And the reason I mentioned that, it is because if you study the way you came into this realm and how you were a little child and you couldn't walk and you couldn't speak, and then you study where you get your way of thinking and your way of belief from, what environment you grew up, what you were taught from a young age, what was passed down to you. These are things that is very important before you jump on any bandwagon. That is why I'm saying you must have questions. Okay, because there are people who's not going to answer these questions for you. Okay, so I'm looking to see whatever question, okay, that people is presenting here. Okay, the first person who comment here is Biflas the God, and he's originally from Barbados. Okay, this guy is originally from Barbados. and I know him from YouTube. Okay, he's been, making videos long time ago. Okay, and I'll be honest. Okay, I know he might be listening and everything, but I'm gonna be honest. Okay, it's just my observation since he got, involved with a white woman, he stopped posting his videos that he was posting. Okay, and I would have wished that he would have continued doing what he was doing. And so you have to be very careful with who come into your life, okay, and so on, because they could hinder you from doing God's work. And when I say God's work, the work that you were designed to do on this planet, okay. So that is not me really being malicious or anything. I'm just saying that I've been very much observant of that, and I want to reach out to my brother, okay, wherever he is right now, and encourage him to get back to do his work that he was doing, okay, because there's many people in his country, Barbados, and many other melanated people that need this kind of teaching, okay, and once he continue, he would be very useful to his people. Okay, but it's just an observation. Since he get involved, I saw him came on YouTube and say he get involved with this white woman and this and that, and he was giving the vibe that the white woman have money and he have, but you have more money than any white man or white woman on this planet once you come to know exactly who you are and the power that you possess. Once you understand your connection with the sun and you understand your oneness on this planet. That's why I've been always telling people don't get involved in no interracial relationship. These people just want to, they just want to prolong their seed on this planet. Okay, and they'll do anything. Okay, but there's another subject for another time. And being the kind of person I am, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say it. You understand? Some people may say, oh, you call the brother. I don't have the contact to call him or anything like that, but I observe that. Okay? It's really hard to put this umbrella here over my head right now. I can't even fix it as how it's supposed to be, but I'm going to keep it above my head right now until this, rain hold a little bit. Okay? Yeah, so thank you, my brother, for commenting. And I'm saying to you, it's time for you to get back on YouTube and do the work that he was doing. Don't make this white woman hold you back or hold you down or whatsoever. Okay, because you was doing a good job, and you was getting very close to having 1,000 subscribers. And being honest, since you get involved with this white woman, you don't make any more videos. I don't see no other videos. You ain't following what you was following. Okay. So sometimes these people come in your life as a distraction and you think they come in to elevate your life or lift your life up and think, no. You don't need these kind of people. Okay, you can lift yourself up, okay, as a black man. And that's just my straightforward, comment here, okay? Let me go on to this other person here. Johnny says, where is the kingdom of God? Please. Okay, the kingdom of God is the kingdom of your consciousness and your awareness. And your awareness and consciousness is within you. And that awareness and that kingdom must be connected to the inner sun. And the more melanin, the more melanated you are, the closer and easier it is for you to be connected with this inner sun that is referred to as your solar plexus, the thing that keep your heart going. It is the place or seat of consciousness that has your heart going and ticking like a clock. And that's why they use the sun to measure what they call time, which is basically an illusion. So when you understand the book of mind science, which is the Bible, and you realize that it is not literal, neither is it secular history, neither is it pointing to look outwardly, but you realize that they have programmed you to look outwardly and to interpret it exoterically, then you would realize why they never explain to you concerning Luke 17:21, where he says that the kingdom of God is within you. And you must never let any man say to you, lo here or lo there. Because the coming of your Christ consciousness, the coming, the realization of who you are would not be with any observation, which means it would not be an outside thing. It would not be some man coming from the sky. It wouldn't be no Jewish man coming to save you. It wouldn't be no Caucasian man coming to save you. So the kingdom of God is your self-realization that you must come to free you from all mental slavery. Because to be truthful, most melanated people have been kept in a perpetual state of mental slavery, continuing to look outwardly and believing that the Bible is literal and secular history. And they have never experienced the Bible for themselves. That's why they do not know that Bible is basic inner belief, life eternal. Basic inner belief, life eternal. Okay, but they tell you it's basic instruction before leaving earth. But if you understand your body is the earth and the spirit that you are, that is in this earth, would give you that outer body experience, transcendency, if you understand the melanated energy that is in you, which is the invisible fluid. I call it the invisible fluid. When it's been activated within you, that's why they don't want you to know yourself and know your power. So when Neville speak about the kingdom of God that is within, it is not because he had any special knowledge. It is because of what was stolen from those who've been running the plantation system and continue to run the plantation system through certain families. Okay. And he came from a family that was such, okay, because that's what we will get into when we look at his birthplace and his burial place. And you will also see why his burial place was very significant, okay? And you will understand why they keep coming to the islands, especially in the Caribbean, to continue to do their rituals. Why those from Buckingham Palace always come to my country to plant a tree in a certain area. They've been doing all of these rituals all along, okay? And why in the islands they give the people certain names of individual to look up to as national hero, and the people do not know the true history of these people, okay? They're keeping their ancestral line in rulership through your ignorance, okay? So my brother and my sisters, there's a lot of food for thought that I give you there. Okay, there's a lot of gems I just dropped there with you just asking the question that where is the kingdom? Okay, so there's no outside kingdom. The kingdom is within you. Okay, within your consciousness, within your awareness. That's where they chop you. In your consciousness, in your awareness, that's where they chop you. Okay, and they keep you grounded and they keep you in a soul chop. That is why black people biggest cause is this white idol that they call Jesus. This man they look to come from the sky to save them. Okay, it is basically a bloodline on this planet that wants to control every other bloodline. That is another topic I will get into on my other live when I finish this live. Okay, where I'll be speaking about wars, religion, and bloodline. So if you're listening to me, I will encourage you that when I finish this live, you can tune into my next live on my Black Man Guru channel. Okay, you see, this information network, a highway that I'm linked to by bloodline rights, is what the reason why they don't want me to expand and grow on YouTube. That's why they try to challenge me. Okay, because I am not going according to the narrative and they want to tell me what to do. And so when I start to speak about Neville Goddard, okay, and start to show the truth out there, that's when they start to shadow ban my channel, both this channel and my other channel. Okay, but because I know my rights through my royal bloodline, it doesn't move me and it can't move me. It's just expanding me more and more and more in many different areas and facets of life. Okay, so let me read on again. Someone says here, greetings everyone. Okay. Let me say again, I am awaiting your question. Okay, and I'm encouraging you to send your question, whatever question you have, and I'm willing to provide the answer for you. Okay, it's kind of raining and it's kind of windy too. Okay, it's actually messing up the umbrella a little bit, but I'm still well sheltered, so this will work for me. Okay, someone say, where are you? Let me see. Where do you think consciousness goes after death? Okay, death is only the humus or the body reaching a point whereby it can no longer contain the spirit that which you are. So basically, you are an eternal being. You are pure energy. You see, energy can be created or destroyed, but it can be transmuted. So your consciousness never dies. So if you leave your body from having this human experience on this three-dimensional realm, which they call death, and you leave with a religious, idiotic consciousness or awareness, you will continue with that idiotic religious consciousness. And so you could reincarnate back here being a slave again. So once they chop your soul, they have you coming back over and over and over as a slave while they play the part as the master. Because life it consists of master and slave. Your mind control your body. As I always say, if you want to go to the toilet, you don't command your bottom to go to the toilet. Okay, you have to go there. And you have to take off your clothes to release. It doesn't matter if you are the king or the queen, or you're the prince, or you're the princess, or you're the president. It doesn't matter who you are. Okay? It's same thing, same procedure. So someone have to play the part of the slave on this planet. Someone have to be at the bottom of the barrel. As I always say, someone have to clean the street. Someone have to sweep the street. Someone have to clean the toilets, but it doesn't have to be you. Okay? So death is not real as they want you to think. That is why they make a business out of your death. That's why the funeral procession is run by who? The church. The church system makes a lot of money from funeral procession and weddings, because marriage, as they give to you, is a scam, and it is the biggest scam on this planet. And they use religion, especially secular Christianity, to convince you that when you go through certain procedure given to you by the state, that you are having sex, which is sacred energy exchange, which most religious people do not know. They convince you that you're having it without guilt and shame and judgment and condemnation, and you're fitting the narrative of society. So society gonna look upon you, okay, in a different way, because you do it the way that society sees it and the way our society have been programmed to believe it. But when you read in the book of Mind Science that marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled and that it is a great mystery, then you will know that marriage actually takes place in the bed. That's where it really takes place. And not from when I'm married from a little book. Okay? So I hope that answer your question concerning, okay, where do you think consciousness goes after death? Okay? Your consciousness will go back to source. That's where it come from source, and it go back to source. Okay? So if you, as I say here, if you detach yourself from source and you divide yourself from source and you hold to some false identity and you take on a label. That's why when you say you're a Muslim, you say you're a Christian, you say you're Hindu, you say you're this, you're taking on a label. And when you take on a label, you put in a label on any other person who doesn't vibrate towards your label. That's how it is. That's how this whole world has been run. That's why when a man go and join the armed forces or when he go and join the police force and thing, he start to refer to the other people he went to school with as civilian. And he take on a label. And now he giving you a label. But your pure consciousness, your pure awareness. Okay? So, for example, when I had my death while I live it on this planet and could walk and talk and do all of these things to you, I went back to a pure consciousness. I went back to source. I became one with the wind. I became what? Invisible. So you were first invisible. Now you have a visible experience. But this experience that you have in here, it is temporal because it's a three-dimensional experience. But you are beyond this three-dimensional world. Okay? Someone say is death and end. It's a shift in awareness. It's just a shift. It's not the end. There is no end. Okay, to you, don't make no one fool you. There is let me say an experience that you're having here that is temporal. Okay, because you're living in the wall of death. This is the wall of death. You can never experience what they call death if you never live. So death and life is just the polar opposite of the same thing. So in order for you to come here to have this human experience, you have to die in the spiritual realm. And how do you die in the spiritual realm? You go through a dream or a sleep of amnesia, forgetfulness, where everything been wiped away. And you're seeking for remembrance. And this is where awakening and enlightenment and self-realization comes into play. That's your real salvation. You're seeking for salvation. That's why it could never come from an outside Lord and Savior and Master, no outside entity. Someone says here, can consciousness exist without a body? Yes, consciousness could exist without a body, or is the body part of the illusion? No, consciousness can they are disembodied spirits, okay, that doesn't have a physical body, but actually have a spiritual body. For example, I have a video here, okay, and this phone that I have here that someone sent to me with this person was just playing with their child, okay, and was just recording it. And this entity passed by, it moving at the speed of light. So when I slow it down and try to, and you can see the farm and everything, that of someone, a body just like a human, okay? And doesn't matter how I try to slow it down, you cannot see the farm. You'll only get it in like light, okay? And I show many people it, okay? And that's why I always say that there are entities here that are non-physical. So we are having this physical experience and there are those with the non-physical. But if you're spiritual and open enough, you can contact the non-physical world also and see these entities. Okay, I've had an experience like that. It just, this week someone reached out to me and they had an experience like that, and the person they saw, the person looked just like me. Just like me, yeah. And my eyes were like fire. Okay. When they saw me, okay. They saw me like the one in Revelation 22. Okay. You know, but I didn't want to go into all of that and explain all of that to the person. Okay. So yeah, so that is just a shift, okay? You continue on. That's why your consciousness, your awareness, what you believe, what you embrace is very important. That's why you have to grow and expand. But you can't go and expand when you embrace a religion. It's stagnation. All religion, all false identity, all label is stagnation. So many people on this planet that they're accepting stagnation. Okay, that's why they keep coming back in the stagnated form. Okay, it's like a recycling. Someone's so the body is a part of the illusion. Okay, this physical body. Okay, but your spiritual body is the real thing. Okay, because consciousness, as I said, is the only reality there is. There's no other reality outside of consciousness or outside of your awareness. Okay, Matt Dan say hi to you. Donovan says hi also. Hi to you also. Someone say more people need to start using their intelligence to understand life and behave as logically intended. Yeah, you see, most people have been influenced by the system, and most people don't think for themselves. Hello, there's no entrance there.
Okay.
Yeah, back there is private property.
Private.
That's where the governor general lives.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you might have to encounter some guards with guns and things up there. So it's better you. Yeah, go that way. Yeah. So because most people are not thinking for themselves and they allow themselves to be influenced by politicians and preachers and many other influential people that is pointing them to look on the outside. Many times they're not logical. Okay, because for example, for a person to believe that some Jewish man gonna come from the sky and save them, that's a person who's not logical at all. That's a person who have no sense of reasoning or articulating anything at all. Because for example, right, the way how you've been treated as a melanated person, okay, if someone who's treating you that particular way give you a picture, a idol of a savior and a Lord and a master that looks like them, it tells that that Lord and that master will treat you just like them, just like how they are treating you. So one man God is another man devil, and another man devil is another man God. And I'm telling the honest truth, Jesus and church is black people's biggest cause. It is the biggest devil. Jesus is the biggest devil on this planet. White Jesus I'm talking about. Jewish Jesus. They believe that that these Jewish people are chosen people. That's the biggest cause you could carry on your shoulder. That will keep you down. That will keep you animals. That's why the people who have such a belief, they were the people who are inoculated in 2020, 2022. These are the people who are experimented upon because these people have been controlled by the banks and the credit union in their countries. And these are the people who will write up scriptures on their vehicle when they borrow from the bank. They will write up scriptures on their homes, okay, when they borrow from the bank. They will buy lands and pay land tax all their life, not knowing that they live in a country whereby the politicians are swearing under crown. So basically the land is like they call them crown land. Because why? These people who set up this system, they are able to contact, okay, and open portals to get knowledge from other realms where there are other beings. And they wouldn't tell you that. I know where you're talking from, you know. I know exactly where you're talking from. Okay. So someone says be honest, are you afraid of death? Yes or no? Okay, and that's a very, very, very good question. And if you're in the chat right now, I would like you to comment whether you are afraid of death. You've come to the realization that death is inevitable and you have to embrace it and think about it as part of your existence, because whether you die now or you die tomorrow, you're gonna die. The only people that believe that they're gonna leave this planet alive is the religious, delusional idiots that is on this planet who only eat, sleep, shit, talk shit, and repeat that life on this planet. They haven't been uplifting this planet in any way. And so, to be honest with you, all of the melanated people have been following Christianity and following Islam and so on, especially those following Farrakhan and all of these imposters and frauds. Look at their lives and see what their lives have been producing. They've been producing nothing. But a bunch of people yapping, and the cycle keep going wrong and wrong and wrong. Why? Because many of these men who they call leaders and they look up to, they have no bloodline qualification. Let me run that again. They have no bloodline qualification. This is not something you study. This is not something that is based on how eloquent you are and how much you could speak and how much history you know. It's not that. And that's why they've been feeding melanated people with these kind of men, intellectual men who seems to be eloquent, okay, in speech, a lot of words, but there's no action. And you cannot see the life of the people who follow them producing anything. I can guarantee anyone and I can challenge anyone. Once you really truly believe deep in your heart these things that I'm saying, you do not have to open your mouth and speak anything at all. You just have to have a desire for my ancestors and the melanated Black Christ consciousness of all ages to wrap itself in a body in a different realm and show itself to you, and it would. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you any man who link up with this highway that I'm on, they will get visitation, and there's never from a white entity. It's all one that looks just like me. Okay, and one that looks just like you. Okay, so yeah, my brother, my sister. So Neville Goddard, his family, okay, was one of the family that inherit books that was stolen from all the way back from the Library of Alexandria and so on. And things passed down to them, and they were part of the plantation system. Neville family didn't come to the Caribbean, okay, as indentured servants. No, they owned slave, okay. And if you check the Barbados newspaper concerning the death of Richard Goddard, you see what I'm saying right there in that newspaper article. Okay, the death of Richard Goddard. That was about, say, 2-3 years ago. Richard Goddard passed. Okay, and up to this day, their family owns the biggest businesses in my country right now in my country. And so when I understand the families, okay, and the bloodlines, okay, that run these places and these islands, and maybe they have a certain bloodline too, then I could understand and I could explain these things to you. Okay? So it's very important that you ask these questions, because all of the people with the narrative and the internet about Neville Goddard, okay, they're not gonna tell you these things. Okay, that's why they're running an Abdullah narrative. Okay, because they all in all of their plan and their fraternity and their brotherhood, they leave out the bloodline of the black man. So what they do, okay, they tell them they have to join the fraternity, and as if they've been given something like a reparation. And so they sell themselves, okay, by joining. Okay, but there's a family, our bloodline that doesn't need to join. Okay, I know exactly what I'm saying. That looks just like me. We don't need to join nothing. Okay, that's why they didn't want me to speak about Neville Goddard, his involvement in secret society. They didn't want me to speak about that. They didn't want me to speak it out. That's why from the moment I started to speak that out and I started to say certain things, they started to shadow ban me. Okay, and this channel, that's why I changed the name of the channel, everything. Okay, they start to attack me. Okay, they start to send emails, this, that. When at first, early in my teaching, okay, they reach out to me and want me to join their cabal. I'm not joining no cabal. Okay, and I will never join no cabal. Okay, I'm in this by rights. I inherit what I inherit by rights. I inherit what I inherit by rights. When you put the eye above the pyramid and the US dollar, my bloodline is there too. Can't check me. Okay, so Neville, okay, his birthplace was in Barbados because they were running a plantation in Barbados. Is part of the aristocracy of those who's running the transatlantic slavery. Okay, and I'm saying all of this because if you trace my bloodline, okay, you see why I am able to have all of this kind of knowledge. Okay, A lot of people cannot chase their bloodline way back and see what happened and so on and all of that. Okay, royalty must and will recognize royalty. That's why when you check out Neville Goddard family and you check out my country and you check out the house that had 100 windows in my country, but there was opening one. They had to keep one open as a sign of respect to the throne in England. Then you understand where I'm coming from. Now today some people does refer to the house as a haunted house in my country. So I know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why they don't ever want me to, when I speak about Neville Goddard and so on and expose the truth and so on and try to show things, they don't want to make sure they're trying their best not for it to get out there because they build a whole narrative around Neville. Okay, someone say, why would you be frightened if you believe in God? You go somewhere better don't if you don't, nothing happen. It's just the end. I don't really understand much what a person is saying because, for example, whenever a person talk about believe in God, okay, most people who normally use that sentence or even speak like that, they have no understanding of what they're saying. And I can prove it to you. Most people normally ask me, do you believe in God? And they're actually asking me an esoteric question when they have an exoteric interpretation and is looking for exoteric interpretation. And they're asking you an esoteric question to get an exoteric answer. That's how dumb they are. Okay, so it's very important that you understand these terms because you see, because of the knowledge that I have, I realize I could go and get a congregation and preach Jesus, preach God, preach Christ, preach all of this, and you would interpret what I say your way, how you were brainwashed, why I have my interpretation of what I am saying, but you cannot know I have my interpretation of what I am saying. So, my brother, my sisters, for you to have hope and to build a foundation and secular Christianity and believe some Jewish man, I believe some man will come from the sky to save you and believe that you're living a life following someone who's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Yet you want your worship and your servitude and all of that. You're brainwashing yourself. I could preach any sermon like T.D. Jakes, like Creford Dollar, any one of them, and just use terminology like Lord and God and Jesus and Savior and all of that, and you would interpret it the way that you tell yourself it is and should be interpreted. It is not my prerogative concerning how you interpret what I say. Just like how I speak in here, and some people would interpret it whichever way they want to interpret it. That's their prerogative. So Neville Goddard bought in Barbados was a sign to help you, melanated people, not to follow the narrative they're talking about Abdullah. That is to trap you, to believe that you are a servant of some higher power, and they're playing the part of the higher power, and they're painting themselves in the picture of the higher power. That's why Neville says a voice spoke to him and say, and God walked with them. And a woman at his side say, and if God walked with them, where is he? And he said, at thy side. And he said, the woman look at him and laugh. And he said, do you mean to say that Neville is God? And he said, yes, in the act of awakening. Well, I know I am God. So if I am God and the white man is claiming that he's God, someone have to be telling lies. And someone have to be telling the truth. If he presents you a God that doesn't look like you, and when you look in the mirror, you're seeing a picture of yourself, and that image that they give you is not an image of yourself, then you are deceiving yourself. That's the simple truth. So when Neville tell you about if you say Lord of God and think of something outside of yourself and all of that, he's speaking about what his own ancestors give you. So when you think Neville come to save you, Neville come to enlighten you, Neville is just using a narrative through his brotherhood to make you believe that he's bringing light to you, when the light is already in you. The gene is already in you. The spark is already in you. You are the sun people. Someone say, what if that is just waking up from this reality. Let me see. Let me go back on the question concerning whether you're afraid of death, so on, right? Most melanated people are afraid of death. That's why they chop in Christianity, because they're afraid. Christianity is built on and doubt, fear, guilt, shame, judgment, and condemnation. And what they do, they chop you in Christianity, and also they chop you in the fraternity. So in Christianity, they tell you those in the fraternity is evil, and they are good. So when you separate good from evil and you separate evil from good, you will never see the devil in the mirror. Neither would you also see God in the mirror. So you will never know who you are. You become a lost soul on this planet. That's how they're checking you. Okay, that's why when people are so afraid, they walk upon, they be chat upon. Okay. That's how the banks, the credit union, all these things control most black people all around the world who believe in secular Christianity. Because of the fear, it keep them poor, it keep them broke, it keep them miserable, it keep them as consumers. And we're supposed to be conscious and deliberate creators. We're supposed to be inventors. And whenever we invent anything, they hide it from our people. And they portray themselves as the ones who are the great inventors. They never tell the world a black man invented the filament in the bulb. No, they put out their own narrative. They try to make you believe that these people in Israel have some high IQ and other people have low IQ, when these are people with a very, very low IQ, and you're the people with the high IQ. They give you Einstein and everybody quoting Einstein. But if Einstein gonna say that imagination is greater than knowledge, who put up the systems of fake knowledge, which they call schools, which they call charity, that they give to the people in Africa and in the Caribbean and all around the world? Who do it? Who is responsible for it? To sabotage them from their own imagination. Who's doing it? And what teaching are they using to do it? So don't make them fool you. So while they hold to the Kabbalah and the Zohar and so on, they give you the damn Bible and interpret it to enslave you, and then turn around and mock the God that you are serving. Because you live in self-doubt and self-hate. And that's where how this whole thing about Neville Goddard comes in. Okay? Because Neville was only playing a role to continue what they have started from ever since. Don't make nobody fool you, bro. That's why he tried to interject blackness into his message. He tried to incorporate a black man, and then he tried to tell you that they never incorporated a black man before, because they know that there is a bloodline of melanated people who have that spark within them. They know it. Okay. Someone says, why would you? Someone says, science can't explain how the Big Bang happened, so don't be lecturing people about things not making sense, brother. You see, what I say can't make sense to you if you do not have what it takes within you. And I'm glad to have people like you commenting, because I said from the beginning, this is for people who have question and they want answer. You tell me any Big Bang theory. Okay, look at nature in itself. Okay, and you would see the people who are going against nature and everything they produce is artificial. These are the ones who came up with Big Bang theories. I don't know what the hell you're speaking. Okay? Black people or melanated people never came up with any theory talking about Big Bang. Okay? So if you want to troll, go somewhere else and troll. Okay? Neville Goddard was an agent. Okay? He's an agent. And because, as I said before, his family was a part of the slave trade in the Caribbean, especially Barbados, to be specific. And because they want to continue to keep that energy. a rulership over the minds of the people. That's why he's buried also in Barbados. Okay? In St. Michael, Barbados. Queensberry Cemetery. It is to keep that energy there. So I'm not speaking to everybody. I'm speaking to melanated people who could think for themselves. I'm speaking to people who are not going to follow the narrative. Okay, people understand that Neville Goddard wasn't bringing anything new or anything enlightened to them. He's just using a narrative of a makeup character that he called Abdullah. Okay, and I've known the game and I played the game with them. So I could have put that book together called The Black Mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard Mentor. And when you read it, I'm using reverse psychology and they get angry with me. All the people who went and bought that book who didn't look like me, okay, they were rather disappointed. They said, oh, he's on low energy, when they are the ones who are on low energy, okay? And they are the one who's on low vibration. Someone say bass, someone say talk about voodoo. Okay, voodoo is nothing bad. Voodoo is nothing wrong. Voodoo is what we use to defeat the French in Haiti and all of these places. And our people need to practice things like voodoo instead of practice secular Christianity. They use secular Christianity to devalue the power of voodoo, because voodoo is you understanding nature and how to work with nature. You see, our people have backslidden from nature, and they what they do, they adapt the nature of their enemy. That's the problem with our people. They adapt the nature of their own enemy. That's why up to this day, they're fighting against the people of Haiti. Check out what the Clintons did to those Haitian people with their rice. Check out what the American government been doing to the people of Haiti. That's why you have to be stupid to be running with Neville Goddard narrative, believing that some black man taught Neville Goddard these principles. Is to check you, okay? Because they don't want you to know it's part, this come from the secret brotherhood. Someone said, if you don't like white people, fuck off to Africa and stop using everything the white man made. You fucking racist. What is it that the white man make? The white man haven't make anything on this planet, because everything on this planet comes from fucking nature, and all he's doing is copying everything from nature, because what? He's a duplicate. And a duplicator, not an originator. You can't deal with me. Okay, you can't deal with me. There's nothing, okay, to prove that the white man is an originator. He's more of an imitator. You study the farmer care. Okay, big pharma and all of these things. Okay, eugenics, all of these things, and you see what they're doing, and everything they do, it goes against what? Nature. And they take something from nature and they will put it in a synthetic way. I don't, that's why I don't depend for anything from the white man. That's why when they come with their conversation for me to join their cabal and offer me views and all of these things and YouTube, I give them the middle finger. So when you come on here, make your comment, you're being so weak and fragile and brainwashed. You've been brainwashed from generation to generation to generation. And the same generation that is here comes from the same generation that was running the plantation system and continue to run it in a systematic way. Okay? So that's why I never accept that. And this person here commenting, talking about go to Africa. I don't need to go to a geographical Africa when Africa exists in me. The richest continent on this planet is a reflection that inside of you is the richest possession. That richest possession connects you straight to the sun. The sun is the richest thing on this planet. And you people are farther away from the sun than closer to the sun. We are more closer to the sun than you. Look at the earth and you're seeing a reflection of me. Look at nature and you're seeing a reflection of me. That's why I have no hatred towards anyone. It's just that I understand where you're coming from. I understand your nature, and because I understand your nature, I can expose your nature. That's what I'm saying. The nature of Neville Goddard wasn't one to enlighten the black man, was one to play a game on the black man by introducing the Abdullah character. It's a makeup thing. Keep your pale ass quiet, boy. Why don't you challenge me to a debate where we can tape it and put it and Zoom and put it out there? Why don't you do that? The moment a black man realized that Christianity, Islam, secret society, and all of these things, they are all chaps to keep you a certain way. The moment they understand that and they reject all of that and they're willing to unlearn and relearn and reprogram the subconscious mind, they're going to transcend so fast. They're going to transcend so fast. So when you come in making comment, let me see, non-conformist, yeah. Non-conformist, when you come here to make your comment, okay, do something better, okay? Say something that might be more enlightening to show that you have some sort of wisdom and knowledge about self so you can help other people to enrich themselves, okay? And you call me a racist. Yes, I'm a racist. Yeah, I'm a racist. Because when I look at the animals, sheep and goat don't mate, and yet they're all animals and they don't have the same diet either. Okay. And though, as I said before, they are animals, they have some distinct difference. But it's the same thing with me, okay, and a Caucasian man, a Chinese man, a Japanese man, any other race of people on this planet. Yet, on a higher level, I know there's only pure consciousness. There's only pure awareness. Okay? So it depends on which level you're speaking at. So if you're speaking at a certain level, yes, I am that. Okay? And nothing is wrong with that. Because if I'm a racist to say that I do not believe in interracial, union and so on, and bringing forth hybrid children and so on, if that make me racist, then I'm going to be a racist because I do not believe in that 100%. So, as I said before, Neville was basically a fraud. Okay? The things that he's saying is true, things about his subconscious mind and these things are true. Okay? But it doesn't matter how much truth someone share with you and it mixes with the lie, okay? It is not to really help you in a way to free you. That's what I'm saying. One Neville teach will help you to manifest, help you to get money, help you to get all of these things. You understand what I'm saying? That's why people who do not understand certain things, they will say, oh, give me reparation and give me money. So rape me, do all kind of thing to me, and then pay me money, kill my children, cut down woman who stomach, pregnant with children, throw them to crocodile, do all of these things and then pay me money. They're selling themselves short when they do that because they do not know their own value. They do not know their own divinity. So me talking about Neville and exposing why Neville burial and Neville birth was a certain place in the Caribbean and who they really are and what cloth Neville cut from and why these families still ruling in the islands, in the businesses and so on. It's going to hurt you because if our people really catch where I'm coming from, they'll start to develop themselves more financially because the real slavery, economic slavery, That's why I never depend on social media, you understand, to get what I want. Okay, so when people depend on social media, then your shadow ban could work. It's like you having sanction on Iran and Iran just prospering and widening the scope. And so on Cuba, the same thing, and you putting more pressure on Cuba, and the people still seeing their way because the people are so resilient. Okay, it's like the people hate you, try to do them all these things, and the people still striving. You understand? It's the same thing happening right here. So I will continue to expose Neville and his work and how much he was a fraud. And is still a fraud. And all of these self-help men, especially all these self-help white men on the internet, all of them building off the Neville Goddard narrative, you know. All of them. Talking about the millionaires and this and that and that, and you getting impressed with them. But all of them, they build from that. They're all frauds. Think I'm going to keep quiet? You can stop me from talking. Hate no white man. He said, you're a racist piece of shit. Wearing all the white man stuff, but hating the white man. You racist prick. Do you realize all these garments and clothes and all these things they made in China? You people brainwash the world to make the world believe that America is so great and America is so productive. Most of the production of the world come from places like China and cheap countries where they can pay the people cheap for cheap labor. Indonesia and all of these places, is where Malaysia, all of these places is where a lot of things being fucking manufactured. Most of the sellers on Amazon, where they get their stuff from, most of them, they take them from China, and the people, they bring them in and so on from China, and then they put a certain price tag on it and put it through Amazon and all of that. Keep quiet, boy. Keep quiet. Someone said, I don't think he said he hates white people. I never said I hate white people. I don't have my... Why would I take my energy, my precious energy, and push it on hate? My energy is to push towards enlightening people. My energy is to push people to think. So I can't get black people to think unless I show them the condition the white man have them in, how they set up the school system, for example, in the Caribbean, and they write the curriculum, okay, and how they set up the police stations. Do you know all the police stations in the Caribbean? If you check them and you do your own research, the first commissioner of whatever police in every fucking Caribbean is a white boy. And then you run the police system, you run it into the army system, and then you run the same army system, you end up in the same NATO system. You understand? I want to control and conquer the whole world right now. I want to have one world government. And even before the police system, you go to the cadet system they set up and the Boy Scout system that they set up. And that's where sometimes these people who run these little system and these little boys, they just defile these little boys. Just like the same like the chat system. So you can't come and tell me shit. You just an ignorant person who doesn't know anything. Why should I hate white people? I don't vibrate under low vibration. Look, I just speak to some white people and tell them they're not supposed to go up there. Where they was going, they're going the wrong way. But they always come this way when they see me this way. Huh? So if you was a white boy commenting, you understand, don't hate me because you have a little teeny weeny Chevy Neville. If you're so blessed on this planet and you claiming that you're producing so much, why you carry such a teeny weeny Chevy Neville? We are original people on this planet. I'm not gonna back down from saying it. How much YouTubers can come on the internet and speak like this? Very few, because why? They already been sold out. They already been bought. Keep quiet. Can be bought or sold. That's why fuck. I could expose Neville Goddard anytime because I know Neville Goddard is fraud with what he's saying in terms of making you believe that he was made aware by some black man. That's what I am saying. I'm not saying they think he's talking about subconscious mind and manifesting and all of that. When you understand alchemy and you understand the working of the sun, and why you think I teach the inner sun science and technology? When you understand the power of the sun, okay, and how to work with the sun and how to work with nature, and you start to understand that, okay, as a melanated person, then you'll know where I am coming from and why I'm saying these things. When you live in a country where Neville got a family, only biggest business, and then in 2020, when they want the people to be vaccinated, their business, okay, which is called Correys in my country, Correys, Ace, all of those names, and so on. And when I went up in the building, I saw a picture of Joseph Goddard. After that, they put security locks on the doors. Now you can't go up there without a code. Keep quiet, boy. When in my country they have a place called Hall of Fame with a bunch of pictures of people that say contribute to this country and so on. And the man didn't marry to a white woman, a man named Russell, Randolph Russell. Most man ever had theater in my country and so on. Okay, and I went there and I did a video and unfold the reason why you have above all of these people there, you have a sign that says "In God We Trust." Why they move it and bring it down? Why they take it down? Just like how they don't want people to go up there to see Joseph Goddard picture. And I don't show it in a video. I have a video on my channel here. Anybody could go and find it. But that and the death of Richard Goddard. Keep quiet, boy. Keep quiet, boy. Why should I hate white people when I could easily expose the weakness and frailty of these people, okay, who's pushing a false agenda to a people who is ignorant and who's not well informed, to make them look as if they're more intelligent when they're less intelligent. I realize you people are more brainwashed than black people. Black people been brainwashed through religion and false interpretation of the Bible that separates them from their oneness with nature and their ancestors and so on. While you people are deeply brainwashed to think that you are better. Okay, and they keep you in ignorance. Okay, so you are brainwashed too. So why would I hate you when you are brainwashed? Just as much as them in Africa is brainwashed. And you've been given certain privilege. So you live off of those privilege. Because stolen books. You people cannot produce nothing original on this planet. That's why you have to come up with artificial intelligence, because everything about you people is artificial. I mean, you have to be dumb not to see that. If you take my hair and you do a test on my hair, and you take your hair and you take a dog hair or cat hair, you wouldn't know the difference. So let me go all about there. I talk about Neville Goddard, why he bought it was in Barbados, and why he buried us in Barbados too. Okay, someone said that's the whole gist of what he's saying. Don't try and gaslight me, brother. Okay, then he trying to say I trying to gaslight him. Don't recommend this channel. That's what I'm just about to press. That doesn't mean, look, that doesn't mean anything. Okay? There was no Black Christ, LOL. Christ consciousness I am speaking about. Okay? I am not speaking about no literal man who existed no thousands of years ago. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the original people on this planet. Okay, who are in touch with their higher self and in touch with non-physical entities, whether you want to call them Anunnaki or whatever name you want to call them, but you get detached from that contact. That's what I'm talking about. Because you conform. Because our people conform. So nobody is saying here, but oh, there was a Black Christ. No, I'm not speaking history. I'm not speaking history. Someone said time for us to wake up out of the matrix. More than time enough for people to wake up out of the matrix. Okay. Are we creating reality? Uncovering what already is. We are uncovering what already is. So when Neville come and try with the create reality and this and that, no. You uncovering what already is. It's all been here. There's nothing new under the sun. 11:11 Gma says here also, do you believe consciousness is eternal? Of course, your consciousness is eternal. That's why you have a soul, but not everyone have a soul. Soul and solar, all of them goes back to the light, the sun. The light is in you, which is your Christ awareness, your Christ consciousness. The oil that at the base of your spine. And Neville tried to make you think that was his experience when he got it from a book. Because these are knowledge that was passed on from lip to ears. But when you have the experience, you would know. That's why when you get the experience and you're genuine, they want to invite you to join their cabal. Do you think you've lived before? Of course. I've had many lifetimes. Okay? That's why I was able to vibrate to this level. Why does everything only exist when I'm aware of it? Because everything on the outside is a reflection of that which is within. That's why there's no God on the outside, no Savior, no Lord, no Master on the outside. Everything exists in your consciousness and exists in your awareness. That's why heaven is within you. The pearl of great price is within you. I'm basically saying that everything is within you. You don't have to wait for Neville Goddard, anyone to come and tell you that. You will discover that for yourself. If consciousness doesn't die, why does we remember past lives clearly? Because when you become more and more conscious, you are coming more and more into remembrance. We're born in this world in a state of forgetfulness, a state of amnesia. Whether that was deliberate or not, I cannot tell. But one thing I know, okay, that we're born in a state of ignorance, of not knowing who we are. That's why when you're born in this world, you cannot speak. When you're born in this world, you cannot walk. So you have to adapt. Okay, and whatever you meet, that's why you're going to adapt, because by the time you've been born on this planet, right up to the age of 7 or 8, your subconscious mind is wide open for programming. So whatever you've been programmed with. So these people who know it, they set down a program in the Caribbean and in Africa and around the world. Anywhere there is black people, they set down a program from a very young age that these people, subconscious mind, would be programmed. Their subconscious mind would be infiltrated with certain beliefs that are going to keep them mediocre. And it's the truth. If consciousness doesn't, okay, do you believe Neville explained what he thought? I just explained it. He was just explaining it because Neville Goddard met a man in England. I think it was Arthur Bigby and so on. He explained to Neville Goddard bloodline and so on and all of that. Okay, and make him more wise about certain things. Okay, that's why Neville never came back to the Caribbean to teach. Okay, the things that he been teaching people in New York and in this famous place in California. I'm trying to Ebel Theater. And if you check a record, if you really research and check the record of the teachings that have been going on in the Ebel Theater, you see it wasn't just Neville alone. It was many of these people from the secret society what was doing these teachings and bringing out these things that people think was new. So Neville was just explaining it. That's why when Neville talk about the things and he like try to say he experienced and so on, okay, he couldn't talk about the single eye. He couldn't talk about the sun. He couldn't talk about certain things, okay. And that's why when he starts speaking those things too, that many people couldn't really identify with what he was saying. But in this time when I speak, many people could identify with what I am saying. Because it is happening in the time of the World Wide Web. When the flood is taking place and many people get injuncted in information, it's in the information age that the eye does awake within man. Because the conversation does create confusion. Because they're building the Tower of Babel, which is that information. Why you think Elon Musk and so on, and why you think he called his thing is program X? This man is starting Christ power from an artificial standpoint. Ooh. Someone say, where you from? Someone say, what? Say something that makes sense. What I say would never make sense. I don't know if it's me, the person speaking to her. Yeah, I guess so, because say you are in Haiti. Wonder if I'm from Haiti. Okay. If you're a Neanderthal, if your origin is from the cave, if you're not original, okay, and you've been brainwashed, you were raised to believe a certain way. What I'm saying here wouldn't make sense to you because you've been told that black people don't have much sense. Because when they use television, they used to only showcase black people in white people kitchen, cooking for them and being their servant. So when a man like me comes speaking, it will offend you because you have nothing in you to deal with that which is real, because you cannot identify yourself with nature. Everything about you is hybrid. You come from a place of hybridization. So it wouldn't make sense to you. Why do you think that the American government and all these other governments around the world, why do you think they create a governmental system where they have puppets in the Caribbean islands and they telling the people through their political puppetry, telling the people that tourism is more important than agriculture? And so instead of they running an agriculture program, okay, for the people to believe in themselves and work from the land, okay, and feed themselves and clothe themselves and so on, and use that same agricultural system to teach them the psychological system, to teach them the system of the mind, how the mind works, how to plant seed and reap the harvest, and then show them that in the spiritual perspective of life. Instead of they do that, they're pushing the narrative that these empires and kingdom built in England and America and these places. You understand what I'm saying? To make the people believe in tourist ships coming to their country and believe in tourism. And the women and women in my country live like beggars, trying to change the accent to speak like when I was coming in here, out in the gate, a woman out there, they don't like me, no. They hate me. Maybe she tried to speak nice to the white people, this and that, to make a sale. Slave minds. So when these kind of people, okay, come on and hear me speak like this, they say, oh, it doesn't make sense, this, that, because they've been offended by what? The truth. Say, are you in Haiti? I'm not just in Haiti alone, I'm everywhere. I'm in Haiti, I am in Jamaica, I'm even in America. Yeah, I'm in America too. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My spirit is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the burning that took place there. Why I think my son name is Hanson? Chase back to the first president. Go check out and see who named John Hanson. And then go and chase back to and see who named Lord Hanson. Then understand where the name come from and understand where I coming from. when they came in the Caribbean with certain knowledge through the slave trade, they understand royalty and royal blood too, you know. Okay. I mean, so when say anything more. Someone say the same person here, request. You are in Haiti. Where are you? Why do you want to know where am I? I'm in a little island called St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Okay, that's where I'm at. I'm not afraid to tell you where I am. Okay, I'm in the Caribbean. My brother, are you saying Abdullah wasn't a real person? That's exactly what I'm saying. Abdullah wasn't a black man that taught Neville Goddard these things. Neville Goddard got his teaching from secret society, and I can tell you exactly the name of the secret society. Neville, if you know anything about the Red Cross, if you know anything about the cruise, okay, just read between like what I'm telling you. If you know anything about that, okay, I know anyway. That's where he got his knowledge from. Okay, but because they have never include a black man in the scheme of things, and because they're keepers of time, they know after a certain cycle, the orders go to a certain cycle and so on, and they know because of the gene that we are carrying, okay, and the particle within us, they know that time will come then when our people would awake. Some of us would awake. That's why these men on the streets who call themselves Hebrew Israelites and all of that, these are men who just started an organization to fleece the sheep. Farrakhan and all of them fleecing the sheep. So when I speak, I ain't not just speaking about white people alone. I just expose Farrakhan and all of them. All these men who call themselves Hebrew Israelites, I expose all of them. Okay. Someone say, yeah, my brother, are you saying Abdullah wasn't there? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, it was just a narrative. The Abdullah was just a narrative. It's basically Neville saying that black man is the servant of the white man, and the white man is playing the part of God. Okay? And the black man is a servant. But you have to reverse it. It's just a parody Neville Goddard was playing. If you understand the secret society fraternity, they play games. They do things in a play. They do things in a play, like a theater. That why you think Neville say that Abdullah is taken to the theater? It's not a literal man named black man named Abdullah. No. That's why, as I tell you before in a video, a white guy reached out to me for an interview just to ask me one question, and the question was that if I knew who Neville was talking about when he says that Abdullah said the brothers told me that you were coming, and I did like if I didn't know. He was speaking about those who have like-mindedness, but I knew where he was coming from because he wanted to know if I really know that Neville was really from a secret fraternity and so on and all of that and all of that. But I don't pick it up long time. I don't know. I don't put on. You see what happened, right? When your IQ go to another level, you could put certain things together. And that's what they don't want you to know. Someone say, why you lie on your channel and say you are in USA or you are here illegally? You trying to play FBI, CIA, and all of these things on me. Okay? That's what you're trying. That's what you are trying to do. Okay? But for education's sake, do you know where I'm living and the entire Caribbean is called the Americas? Do you know it is called the Americas? And do you know the word USA is not really United States of America, it's really the United States of Africa, and they don't want a United States of Africa? That's why anyone who tried to produce a United States of Africa, what they do, they try to kill them, they try to take them down. And do you know the president, who you calling president now? Do you know if you chase his family line, they came into the country illegally? Do you know that? Do you know Trump's grandfather was selling liquor and was running a brothel? Huh? you go do some research and educate yourself, woman. Go educate yourself. So Trump himself is an immigrant. Trump's whole family line is an immigrant. So you're talking about illegal. No. There's no such a thing as somebody being illegal. You're supposed to travel everywhere, anywhere in the world. Because you could close your eyes and in your imagination, you could travel to America, you could travel to Canada, you could travel to England, you could travel to all of that. The passport is just a distraction. Let me run that, man. Let me run that. She messing with me now. What they call a passport and nationality is just distraction to distract you from your psychic powers, from your telepathic powers. Because you don't have to have money to imagine yourself traveling from one place to another place. That's why the book of mind science, the very Bible, which is actually just a book of mind science, it tells you anyway that the soul of your feet shall tread, it will be given to you. Yeah, it's talking about power. Power. So they don't want you to know your own power. So that's why when I expose Neville Goddard, people get offended. Okay, it's an hour and 21 minutes. I promise I'm not gonna pass an hour and 30 minutes. After I'm gonna close, I have another live to do. We'll be speaking about bloodline, wars and religion and what they're doing. Okay, and why I sticking with the principles from my bloodline. Okay. Okay, so has nothing to do with being with a white woman, bro. It's that I'm working on manifesting rather than just preaching it like most people do whenever post it's to show results. Well, I'm glad my brother respond back to me when I was talking about. I was just saying since he got involved with that white woman as he started posting his videos. Okay, so the thing is, he's saying that he want to manifest first before he speak about it. No. You have it the other way around, bro. I am telling you. I wrote a book called Your Mood is Your Fortune. That is like you saying that your fortune is your mood. But the fortune is not your mood is your fortune. You have to understand that a lie is being converted to the truth. That's the reason why the very book of mind science says, let the poor say I am rich, and let the weak say I am strong. So they want you to use a lifestyle, because that's what the guy Iolaka, the white boy Iolaka, who is the grandson of the Iolaka, who say Neville, he used to go to Neville meetings and so on. He using a lifestyle to impress people. So he's using material expression to impress people. So they're going to have a Lamborghini park, they have this, that, and they share what a lifestyle. But that is not how you deliver yourself. You gain your old one and lose your soul. So when you understand alchemy, my brother Floss, when you understand alchemy, you realize how to transmute energy into matter. Because to be honest with you, when you were speaking about manifest this, I said this brother, he grew up in Barbados. He know the Goddards, how they be running Barbados. You know Barbados was a slave plantation, just like all these island plantation. And you talking about Neville Goddard more than you speak about what is going on in the islands and so on and all of these kind of things, and use that. Use the Goddards and the business and so on and all of that, and come from the perspective to show the people. So I remember I reached out to you and said, bro, whenever you reach up like 2,000, we go collab. Because I want to collab with you, okay? So we could highlight these things. These are the things you're supposed to highlight. But when you're playing around to get views and for people to like you on the internet, and you want to say things what they want you to say and all of that, then you believe now. Because when you meet this woman and you ain't have this and you hear that, it make it look like you are saying, okay, but manifest this and manifest this, and you not had this and you not had that. No. Everything come from inside out. Don't get checked, my brother. I'm telling you the right thing. You're supposed to be able, okay, to convince your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind don't know the truth from the lie. So if you have $100 in your bank account, you could convince your subconscious mind that you have 100,000 in your account, and you will get 100,000 in your account. But you have to understand the communication network that is in you. So when the ideas come to you, you go on those ideas and work on them, my brother. So to show results and so on, how come I never show no results? I get all kind of results. Because I don't want to impress people from that standpoint. I don't want to impress people from that standpoint. That's what the white people do. They show a lifestyle, but they wouldn't tell you that if a black man and a white man in America go for a loan in the bank, who first will get the loan? They want to tell you that. They ain't going to tell you about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They ain't going to tell you those things. So my brother, wake up, bro. Then the brother goes on to say, ain't got nothing to do with money. You observe wrong, brother. I ain't observe wrong. Tell you the truth. If I manifested it, don't you think I know I have the power, brother? You song about racist, bro. You know, now he start to talk and say I sound racist. When he say how he manifests and attack a white woman, how you gonna attack a white woman that doesn't look like your mother? How you gonna attack a woman that doesn't look like a sister? How you gonna attack someone who doesn't look like your family line? You telling me a breadfruit gonna attack banana? You can't check the law of nature. Pumpkin will always bring forth pumpkin. Watermelon would always bring forth watermelon, bro. You can't check me, bro. I can't be checked. You can't plant peas and reap corn. That's a principle. That's a divine law that is on this planet, and no one could change it. You can't go with a white woman and bring a black child. Neither a white child. You only could bring a hybrid. So don't tell me not being racist, boy. This is being real. People can't handle these things. Someone say, hey, B-Floss, in the chat, what's good? So B-Floss, don't start to compromise, man, and talk shit, man. Don't do that. I will deal with you if you start to talk shit. If you want to do that, let us meet on a Zoom call and show how I being racist or biased. And what is being racist? It's very important to talk about fucking race, bro. Anyway, you travel in this world, you'll be seen as a black man, and you'll be seen a certain way that will be on your passport, bro. And you can't be as loud as I am right now when you're among your white folks, you know. But when black people outside in the barbecue in the back, yeah, they could be themselves. Bro, keep quiet now. Keep quiet. You see what? I experience the power. So I know. I ain't say you ain't experience no power. Okay? But I'm telling you, when a man truly free, right now, you think Barbados become a tourism country? Who you think own all these big businesses in Barbados and so on? Bro, if you want to do something, let me debate this on a Zoom call and so on, and we put it on the internet. It doesn't matter who the teacher is. Man, you start to talk, that you've been brainwashed, them white people brainwash you, boy, they take over your mind. Applying the message daily and use the power within to create your own reality. But everybody busy preaching and talking it and not applying it. I've been applying it all the time. That's why I don't need no woman to come in my life and have nothing more than me. The white woman can come in and so on. Sometimes in your mind, for example, you grew up in Barbados and you grew up believing in fucking tourism and believe that white people have money. And since you're small, you think about, oh, if I have a white woman, maybe I might better myself. You must sit down and drop that thought there a couple of years back, and you just drop that thought. And it become so. And you don't even realize it, my brother. I know what I'm saying, you know. Someone says, hey, Mr. Allen, my goal is to experience the 9 chakras so I can be on the same level as human. Let me tell you something. This experience is not something you desire. If this was something that you desire, okay, well then all the teachings that they have about awakening on the internet and on third eye and pineal gland awakening and all of that, then all of these teachings is true. If they tell you, oh, you could do this and you could do that, no, it's nothing you do, bro. Don't let nobody fool you. My experience is a bloodline thing. Okay, so basically, for example, let me give you an example so you can understand me a little bit better. Okay. For example, all the people who went to the polls and vote, marking the X, which represent basically the Christ energy, the energy, right? For Trump. Everything that Trump do reflect those people. So when they Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, them, no, then they fool you. They identify themselves with everything that he does. Okay? So when a man comes on into this experience and he have a certain experience, he's sharing it. Instead of you trying to want to basically like say have that same experience, you align yourself with this person and things will happen. Okay, and things will happen. And if it is so that you would get this experience, so you would get this experience. Why do you think I'm teaching and doing all of this? Is me transferring what comes with this. So where most people make the mistake is being informed and get knowledge on the internet. That's why they use the internet as a weapon. So you would desire and want certain awakening experience. Okay? When it's not supposed to be that you really wanting and trying to do things. That's why I think people drink ayahuasca and do all of these things. Do you realize that when I had the experience, I didn't know what it was about? Then before last comment, he said the power is within you, Christian. A person cannot be a Christian and discover the power within themselves to the limit of freedom. Don't make nobody fool you. That's why I had an experience with a man, a pastor, who this other man from Trinidad named Vindial. You could check out Vindial and the $28 million. Okay, in Trinidad. Vindial get this young man in my country to open a church called Tolerance Assembly. Okay, run by the teaching of William Branham. William Branham was a student to the Imperial Wizard for the KKK and Masons, a man named Roy E. Davis. Okay, and he used to teach about manifesting and about subconscious mind and so on. And he used to try to take that and put it with Jesus and preaching the Bible as literal and secular history. And I'm telling you, it can never work for you in a way to free you. It will give you material things. So basically, it is no different to people who say, I want reparation. It's ignorant, dumb people that say they want reparation. And they give them reparation in many different ways. So I say, come, join with brotherhood, join with secret society. We give you certain opportunity that like reparation to them. So give them money, do them anything, and give them money. That's low vibration, bro. Anybody could say power is within you. No man can come and tell me. No black man could tell me, oh, the power is within you, and then want to bring hybrid in this world. What makes a seed with a white woman? Me mixing a seed with a white woman. Plain and straight. Okay, I'm afraid of saying that. Call me racist, call me this, call me that. You understand? I could be myself around my own people. You can't go around white people and talk loud and laugh loud and do whatever. You understand what I'm saying? You have to walk on eggshell, bro. You have to live a certain way. When I see a man playing up with a dog and kissing up a dog and a black man, when a black man starts to date white woman, he kissing up dog and doing all kind of thing with dog. When they look at them, more have a closer affinity to dog. I have no close affinity to dog. So it's the truth. I have to speak the truth. Someone say, I love you, Mr. Allen. Man, thank you for the truth. Got to unlearn, relearn, listen to you, man. Yeah, you have to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind. You see, when a man gets himself mixed up with interracial relationship, he start to change the conversation. He have to change the conversation because he end up in a state of a compromisation. I use in my own words. Okay? He start to compromise. You have to compromise to fit the agenda. But the ass is a black man, I go some fucking white family. I can't even talk about slavery and what slavery have done and all kind of thing. Eh? Come on, boy. Wake up. We're going to tell your son, you have a son or a daughter, some white woman. What you can tell me about? Come on, bro. If I say, I'm wrong, brother. You got it wrong. Well, tell me why I got wrong. If I cared about likes and views, I would be posting every day. I'm saying, right, that people just compromise. That's what I'm saying. For views. Okay, so they're afraid to say something. Because people say, oh, they're racist. People say, oh, ban is trying. People say this and people say that. That's what I'm talking about, bro. What is your other channel, please? I'll be going on my other channel just now. Black Mad Guru. Black as in BLSK, mad as in MAD and guru. And my mad is mystically adept divinity. I am an adept without joining any brotherhood or any secret society. I am a divine being. I know that I'm a divine being. And I know my bloodline. So I know what I'm talking about, bro. I know it's within me, and my manifestation was because it's to show people that the law works and not just talking it. How can you tell me how to ride a bike if you never experience riding a bike? Well, the good news I have for you, Mr. B. Floss, is that manifesting takes place every single moment and every single day in your life, which means you have to admit the fact that you manifest a white woman, that you saw that kind of thought, and you saw it out of ignorance. And I'm here telling you the truth, that it could be changed. That's all I'm saying. So you see the seed, you sow the seed, and we see the fruit you reap. That's why you don't sow seed blindly. You don't just say you want to attract somebody in your life. You have to be specific of who you want to attract in your life. And everybody's manifesting and working with the law every moment. So you don't make nobody like Neville come and tell about the law. The law have been in operation. How much time have you heard me speak about you can't plant pork and reap watermelon? That's the law right there. So when you hear Neville come and Neville talk, I can shut and people think, oh, Neville bring new knowledge and this. When these people discover the internet and so on and all of that, and they decide to have the internet and so on, all they was thinking about making money and have influence over people and so on, but they didn't really realize so many truths will come out and so on and all of that. So that's why you see they want to censor people and they want to shadow ban people and all of these things. So you talking about, bro? So you telling me that you have to learn to ride a bike? You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, when you learn certain principles within yourself and you understand the bike, let me use the same bike. Okay, was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first imagine. I would ride a bike first in the spiritual world. So you talking about? You ride the bike first? So you're telling me Henry Ford had to build the car first? No! Henry Ford built the car first in the invisible world. What kind of shit you talking about, bro? But you have to manifest first. You have to do it in the spiritual, non-physical world first. This way it takes place first. Most people believe they have to have $1 million to be a millionaire. No, that's a lie. From the moment you hit your first 100,000 in the bank, you're already a millionaire. You have 1/10 of a million, you're already a millionaire. Just add another zero and another zero and another zero and another zero and another zero. It represents the eternal self. It represents the sea. No beginning, no ending. What are you talking about, bro? You don't have to do that first. That is the agenda that these white people been pushing on the internet. That's why a lot of people were afraid to make video talk about manifesting this and manifesting that, because they have to show something. As I said before, that's why the boy Ilaka, he make his money from YouTube and then put up cars and house and all this kind of thing for impress you. Shit you talking about, bro? You see, when it's a difference in getting material things and a different in awakening, and you're a free man. Do you know you could have as much money in this world and you die a slave? You're not a free man? Someone say, uncle, where are you? What island? I'm in the Caribbean. Where Trump come and blow people, children on boat. And bragging and boasting. Just kill people like that and brag and boast. And get the people in Venezuela to sell out their own government. An inside job and fool the world and tell the world that America went in through the intelligence. No, intelligence is something they don't plan and they give over their own person. Now you take everything you want. This is the same kind of cloth that Neville Goddard cut from. That's why I'm saying the things I'm saying. All of them come from the same cloth. With the plantation system. That's what I'm talking about. So he didn't bring nothing new, bro. Okay. Flower say, I never manifested the color. It came that way. It didn't just come that way, bro. No. Then you're gonna contradict everything you're talking about manifestation and what you believe. You're gonna contradict everything. I don't care about color. It's better tell me you don't care about color, but deep in your heart, you don't care about color. You're lying. I care about fucking color. Yet I have a deeper understanding about race. I could show you on one level, I could show you race is an illusion. On another level, I could show you race in this realm and everything. Okay? So you say you don't care about color and you're colorblind, you lie. When you're going to put on your clothes, you're going to say, well, I'm going to put on this blue, or this white, or this pink, or this whatever. You can't be no colorblind. They trick you to make you say, oh, I colorblind. This, that. That's when a nigger would do anything. You understand? So he would even say he colorblind. Mean colorblind. They mean colorblind neither. No. They never forget Haiti. They never forget Jamaica. You see what those people doing in Jamaica? You see what they're doing in Haiti? You know, everywhere that there was slave revolt in the Caribbean. And the most successful slave revolts ever in the Caribbean. We wasn't revolting for physical freedom, you know. We was revolting for spiritual freedom. That's what we was revolting for, you know. Henry Christopher and the many others. Desalis and I'm trying to remember this other Haitian revolutionists. Okay, they wasn't fighting for what you think they were fighting for, you know. Was for spiritual liberation, you know. What spiritual liberation they was fighting for. So when you hear me talk about Neville Goddard and me expose Neville Goddard, you know, it's a war idea, you know. I fighting for spiritual liberation for our people, you know. What you think when I change the channel name for Abdullah Neville Goddard? Because I decide no more, this is time for me to do what I'm supposed to do, okay? Because I move a certain way and I don't just do things just so, okay? Why you think they come up with a manifesting access and they bring up some other AI channel and bring a fake picture they used to have all the time was just a still picture. Now it's a man with lip moving, hands moving, all of that, and call it Abdullah. Why you think they have to continue the agenda, boy? Keep quiet. I care about color. I care about color. You travel to any airport in the Caribbean and you will see how they will treat you based on color. So don't talk shit, man. Talking shit. So why if you don't give a color, why Neville had to say he was a black man? Why Neville didn't just say he meant I was a man? Why you try to say he's a Negro man? Huh? Plus, you make me laugh, bro. Oh my God! Something tell me you from Guyana. Nah, I'm from Guyana. Okay, I'm not from Guyana. Okay. Right now, America take all the Guyanese oil. They control all of these puppet politicians and so on. Take all the oil, do all of these kind of things. You understand? I'm not from Guyana. People in Guyana need to wake up. Black people all over the world need to wake up. Someone say you're making a song like I putting other races on a pedestal. Now I make a song so. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. It's better we chat one-on-one, but even that you want to post on the internet, so it's for the likes and views. For you, enough for likes and views is because of the power of language. Understand that, bro? Maybe and views and like thing. When they invite me to join the cabal, like you know, listen to me say, Oli, bro. Even before you ever used to come on my channel and comment, okay? When I start to teach certain things, they reach out to me 3 times and offer me certain things. I refuse. You're not listening. You have to listen. I've always been shadow banned. And then more and more I reveal more things. They go harder and harder with it. You understand? And they can't shape me because I never depend on them. They call the power language. They control the media. It call communication. So when I say, oh, let me do, if you want to do something, let's speak on a Zoom call and all that, because we're living in the age of language. Digital age of language. We are living in a time where they are using more speech and mind. We're living in a mind age. And whatever we do is to impact people, whether in a positive or negative way. Once it bring an impact on people, because some people, the light would blind them, while some people, the light would help them to see the path. Jesus Christ. There's so much coming from Biflasi. He said, yes, is every moment of time. I know that. That's why a higher state of consciousness can manifest anything, and that matches that state. It can only be specific if you make it specific. Of course, that's what I'm saying. That's why I've been specific by saying that I don't want a white woman in my life. I wouldn't encourage no black man to take no white woman. They used to lynch black man for even look at white woman. Now they want to chew them, the bitches on top of you. As a white man, as a black man, what happened to all the black woman? All the black man who running from black woman, they're weak. They're too weak to deal with a black woman. Because black woman have all of the traumas and all of that, and you have to learn to deal with it. So you have to build character to deal with it. Then you have some white woman how you gonna walk dog and lift up dog and kiss up friggin' dog. You say I was specific with color. I don't care about color, bro. No. You only saying so. I care about color. I'm a motherfucking white bitch. I don't want none. I had my own color treat me with disrespect. Any color go treat you with disrespect. Okay, don't think I said, oh, because you're black people, some black people, what set of fucking people you go think about. So don't get me wrong, bro. I know exactly what I'm saying, you know, bro. And other races treat me with respect. No, you tend to treat them with respect as long as you playing the tail and they playing the head. For example, if white people employ you and they are the employer and you the employee, they treat you real good, this, that, they laugh, talk with you, the Jews, all them people do all of that. That doesn't mean they love you. That doesn't mean they accept you. That's just how they operate with you. Because they know you're lacking that love and that acceptance from your own people because they hate themselves. And I also had some of my own treat me with respect, and others races do the opposite. Okay, so if you understand what I'm saying, there's not such a, let me tell you something, bro. Not make nobody fool you. You hear me? If you as a black man, okay, you could afford the same hotels, you could afford the same places like white people, and you could be seen in certain places like certain people that they know, you have to own a certain amount to be in the same places. They're going to respect you and speak to you a certain way. But that doesn't mean they really love you and really embrace you as a people, bro. I know I'm telling you, that I mean you're supposed to get kind of relationship and try to say you want to procreate and bring forth with them kind of people there. And I being real, that's just how I see it. I mean, telling you how to live your life by just talking the truth. So the whole thing go back to me talking about Neville Goddard boat and the burial. How this man ended up in Barbados to born in Barbados. I'm saying they was running a slave trade. And they continue still running his slave trade. And I hear you free my people and tell them he's using an Abdullah narrative and it's a lie. You can vex me for that? Say, I know we are God. No, not everybody. Not everybody had the God particle. That's another lie they tell you. I know we are all God. So I put a color on a pedestal. Come on, bro. I am not an ask is don't let anger overpower your intelligence, bro. No, I'm not angry. You can't tell me that when I look at the earth, right now I'm looking at the soil right now. I'm seeing any other color than my color and at the soil. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that these people who like white sand beaches in Barbados and like to lie on white sand beaches, you can't tell me there wasn't a reason why don't book we call Sandals. It used to be Bukomembe Resort. I wrote a book called Bukomembe Resort and the messenger I walked there. There was black sand from the volcanic eruption and so on, okay? And they took the white sand and put it over the black sand at Sandals. You tell me that's not ritual? You tell me that you don't then I see color? Man, keep quiet, man. Stop talking shit. You see what? I love all color women. No. And I love my own woman too, bro. Seriously, I only had one so-called white woman in my life. I hope you don't get rid of she. Because from since you meet, she stopped doing your YouTube for so long. I was very concerned. And time you come and playing magician and this and that, it make me think about the movie Get Out. They make me definitely think about it. I'm gonna see it, I'm gonna tell you so. But you're not gonna listen. So I know what I'm saying. So we are always at war. There's a spiritual war that always taking place on this planet. It never stops and it will never stop. Nothing ever stops. Don't make them fool you. Okay? They continue to enslave the people in the Caribbean through the school system. They run the narrative, the curriculum. They control the curriculum. There's no road up there. Yeah. That's a dead end. Yeah, so better that you turn back. Yeah. Why do you think they have a syllabus in the school? You know in Barbados is where they have the CXC, Caribbean Examination Council. Do you know that people in Barbados believe that they are the most intelligent people in the Caribbean when they are the most brainwashed people in the Caribbean? Do you know that Bajans believe that they're more intelligent than people who live in Saint-Vincent, some people live in the other islands and so on? Do you know they have that kind of belief? I went in Barbados and how they come out of a man mouth by a dream. And they definitely had that belief. I've seen some children came from Barbados and came to St. Vincent vacation and tried to run down our country. And I went to Barbados. I went by a hotel. When I went by the hotel, I was moved at the beauty and everything at the hotel and so on. Okay? And I went there for a meeting. Okay? Because I went for a bodybuilding show. And some white guy was staying there and so on and all of that. Okay? Receptionist and everything, beautiful to the front, this, that. But what happened? I took the wrong entrance, me and another brother. And when I took the wrong entrance, I run into some black people with some big cats, with sheets, all the different things in the hotels where they're cleaning and washing. And I feel so oppressed. I felt everything that these people was going through, doing the servant work. And I wasn't even this aware or enlightened at the time. That's when I meet this guy from America who used to do a bodybuilder named Jim Cardova. He was signed with a company named Muscle-Tech. And I was so like starstruck seeing him in magazine. I go shake the man and the man refused to shake my hand. A white woman was there and tell him, come on, the man is a fan. And I shake my hand. And I so much was not aware of this color thing so much like you. Okay. I end up and I hang out around him, take a picture, kind of thing with him. You telling me about, bro? So my whole thing, you understand, I have so much receipt as much as I could talk about. I tell you, this whole thing about Neville Goddard, you understand what I'm saying? It's a damn lie. It's all secret society thing. And so secret society is trapping you and Christianity is trapping you. And I'm saying, I'm here for my people to get free. You think, you know how nice it be when you're free? You have money but you're free. But when you have money and you're not free, what do you think all these people could offer is money? Why do you think Africa has so much a goal? Yet the people them can't control their own goal. They have all this, and they can't control it. The white man control it, give them the Bible and give them secret society and all of that. And they continue the same horse slave and field slave system. And horse slave and field slave just can't deal with the free ones who are no slave. Let me just read this last comment from Biflas, then I'll close, man. See, I respect you speaking upfront what you believe, but still, one love, brother. Yeah, one love to you too, bro. I expect you to speak about Barbados and what is going on in Barbados and why the people in Barbados live the way they live and all of that. And use this manifestation thing to help the people in Barbados because the Goddard's have their stores and have all of their businesses there. Do they continue changing name and ownership and so on. And so you use the pattern. And I was longing for years that you use the pattern. Use the pattern. And show the people. Why do you think when I was making video I never compromise anything and all of that? I was talking about the energy of our ancestors. Knowing that he was only using Abdullah, okay, and playing a game. Let me just read your comment. You say, I aware what you're saying. I experience it as well, but I won't diss a person who generally being nice to me. I'm not dissing you, bro. I'm just telling the truth. That's how I've always been, okay? Because of their color. That's all I'm saying. And money don't make you free. A free mind does. Okay, and that's why a free mind, okay, we're not afraid to put most white people in their right place. And that's why we have to face slavery head on, because it never stops and it continues. Okay, and that's why even if you be hated and rejected, you have to call out the political system. You have to call out the school system, and you have to call out the religious system. You can't just talk about manifest and manifest and manifest and manifest. That, because if you do that, you just like the prosperity preachers and things, they're not doing any different. It's just like Creflo Dollar and Teddy Jakes and all of that. From since I start doing YouTube, I've always been on a war path because it's a spiritual war. So that's not me attacking a brother or anything like that. No. That is me just following my intuition. Since I say come and I comment, my intuition lead me this way and I speak all of this. And it not really have to be for you. It's for many other. When you can tell me about interracial marriage and all of that, it might help a lot of other people to really wake up. Because it takes a very strong black man to stand with a black woman. And that's what they need. They need us. So when we go away from them and all of that, they need us. You see, what just happened to the black woman who go with the white man, the big white man. I remember time I used to see a white man and a black woman about 3-4 children. And the white man was actually living off of the black woman because of content they was making. Why you think when you have interracial relationship and the internet, they just push out their views, I give them views and all that kind of thing, and push out their work and so on. And then they do anything derogatory. They push them out there. They bring back Flavor of Love, but just call it Juxi and all of them things and all of that. Come on, same thing happening all the time, man. Same education they give my grandmother and my great-great-great-grandmother, same thing they tell the children in school. So you tell me about. So there's one love still. You understand? But me always believe that genuine love is corrective, and I always believe that open correction is better than secret love. I will openly correct any man. That's just me. That's just how I stop. Up to this day, I still love your song. I just sing your song. Love me or hate me, I don't give a fuck. That's your song, Biflas. You think I easily love your song? I just wonder why you didn't take that song and go real far with that song. You sing that song, Love Me or Hate Me. You sing a manifesting song too, but you see the Love Me or Hate Me? But I love that song until Ask My Girl at Home. That's my favorite song. That song from Biflas, Love Me or Hate Me, I don't give a fuck. I love that song, bro. I know my manifesting is just about money and material thing. It's about perfect health as well, of course, and creating a healthy, free mind and healthier cells within the body. Yeah, that is true too. And to give a healthy mind. When a black man has a healthy mind, he want a white womb. He don't want a white crotch. I see so much men in the Caribbean call themselves Rastafari and so on, and all the white women have to do is come and home she leg and they bow. So I know what I'm talking about. So this is not no hate and this and that what people say. I said, well, I go 1 hour, look, it done 2 hours now. It's not no hate. There's no way man could really fully wake up and he not see we race do on this planet and we color do on this planet and see the injustices that was done to our people on this planet. You understand what I'm saying? I want my legacy be, you understand, that I've tried my best to help my people. Whether they reject me, no, yes, because our people real fucked up. So don't get checked with me, bro. I know what I'm saying. Our people real fucked up. But I stand here with them. Okay? So one love. Yeah. I love your song. Love me or hate me, I don't give a fuck. I love that song there. Still on the right crutch. Well, if you enjoy the white crutch, continue to enjoy the white crutch. But I using the opportunity to tell other black men don't get involved in a white crutch, bro. I just being real with you. You understand? And white people just tell their children not for date black people too. I ain't give them wrong. Chinese that do the same thing. Yet they just come among us and do all kind of business and thing. And nothing wrong with that. Because if I was white, I would have used all the things that they say, that they claim that white people invented and leave out all the black people who was a part of it and tell my children, well, your ancestors, your forefathers, they do this, they do that, they build the railroad, they do this, that. I wouldn't go and tell them it's slave labor, they use slave labor to do this and do that. No, if I was white. So I just basically understand the game and that's why I speak the way I speak. I understand the game. So I telling our people how to play the game. And I can't do it without mashing cans. I have to mash people can by doing it. Doesn't matter what. There's no way I could speak truth and not offend people. I have to offend people. I know it. So that's how it would be, my brother. You understand what I'm saying? But I know black women need strong black men. We need strong black men. I know there's white people who just tell their children that black people are supposed to be the slaves, so they just do their best to exceed in life. So they will be the employer, not the fucking employee. Bro, that's how I see things. So if I could empower my people in a way that they could become more employer and an employee, I would do that. And I can't see myself doing that, being with a white woman or being with any woman outside of my race. That's all I said. Me telling nobody else what to do. So that's why all I want to see to talk about it, because why? It was deep in my subconscious from last year, because I used to follow your work and like what he was doing, knowing that I'm from the islands and so on and all that. But when I see you the white woman, I say, oh my God. And then after that, I see you start posting, I see you stop doing it and all of that. And I have to tell the truth, since you get involved with the white woman, and then you make a statement and come on and say, oh, you never know who you're going to manifest she, and you would rather be the one with the money, she have money. Watch me. Woman in general, in woman nature, they don't date down. Most women just date up. There's only date if they see potential. But we know we carry our genes, and a lot of them, these people, they like to mix with us because of our gene. They don't really love us. It have a woman, when I wrote the book of my result and the messenger, if you read it, I was talking about one who have a diving business in this country, a white woman. I know when David Ames thief all of the money from the book of my result, the man who in prison right now in England, but not for what he do down here, for what he do otherwise in England. Okay. She run to newspaper, but I didn't run go to no newspaper with she. How she used to treat the people down there, and then she had a man used to fuck she down here who's black. So a lot of black men think white women love them because they fucking the white woman. He didn't really love you. He really fucking love you. Shit. This is the truth. So everything I talk, I have some sort of receipt. Everything I talk I have some sort of experience. So it's not no hate. It's not no anger. It's just me being me. So I ain't gonna go on and on and on and on and on and on. You understand? Okay, yes, it's always be better to have limited money than have all the money and being in stress and so on and all of that. That's why I refuse the offer. When I know start YouTube and them try to give me offer, tell me, oh, you will go viral and this and no, you can't make me rich. That's why when you read the story in the book of Mind Science about Sodom and Gomorrah and you read and you really understand it psychologically speaking, not no literal thing me talk about, okay? When you really understand it and you understand that Abraham, you understand, and you understand that H in Abraham represents the I. You turn the upside down, you see the I again, and you understand the power of the I, and you get and you activate the I, and then they come in to tell you they could give you this, then they could turn around and say make Abraham rich. Oh no, they can't come and say they make me rich. You understand? They could say, oh, I made this rich, I made that rich. This in Hollywood. This singer, this that. I see a Jamaican man singing with a fucking Israeli flag in the background. That stage where people reach to, bro. I know what I'm saying. So this is not no hating. This is me just being my true self. But anyway, I have to go on the next live. So let me just read this one. I see so many people with millions and they are stressed, brother. Real talk. I agree with you with that. Okay. But up to this day, I can't see a comment and say, bro, I look on your channel and I know they've shadow ban you. Why they shadow ban me? Why? Ask yourself the reason why. Ask yourself the reason why other people teach you that kind of spirituality thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I do that. And then you realize how much people out there just kiss ass. Okay? So, my brother, it's just one love. Okay? So, let me say to all the people who's on the live, if you want to follow me over on the next live, I'm going to my Black Mad Guru right now, just to finish it. I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. And I just want to say peace. Love you all. Out.